Hi everyone, this is Michelle with Lumina Massage, and welcome to another session, another interview that is going to shed some light on the massage therapy industry and hopefully help you guys out there. Today's topic is going to be insurance billing, and today's guest is Shanda Whitney, and Shanda is located in Washington State. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her backstory, how she got started in massage therapy, and she's going to help us demystify. So, whether you're a consumer of massage, you want your health insurance or your auto insurance company to pay with massage, and you're like, why is this not a thing? Shanda's just going to share her story and her experience, and we're hoping to learn from her. So, Shanda, please take it away.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Great. So walk us through what made you become a massage therapist, what led you down that career path, and when did you start using insurance, and what type of insurance do you bill?
So, what let me down massage therapy was actually a little bit of the help of my husband. And
Hmm.
I didn't really feel like I wanted to go back to school, but he kind of helped me realize that that's what I was going to be good at was massage. And when I checked it out, I was like, yeah, I could definitely see me doing this for quite a while. So then I decided when I was in massage school that I wanted to do the massage, the spa program of it. That's kind of what I originally geared towards at the beginning. But then, like, once I kind of got into spa, I kind of stayed there because it's like a comfort zone, I guess. And then after that, uh, I worked at a spa for like 5 years. Um, and then kind of took a break from that and then worked at another spa. So I've been through a few spa type places. But when I worked at my last spa job for 4 years at Hand and Stone, I had a lady go, "You should work for a chiropractor." I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I've heard it was so hard to get into um, the insurance part of it. And I was like, not really wanting to do that because everybody just kept saying it was so hard. And but it was just definitely something that was kind of interesting. I don't know. I just felt like it'd be kind of a good challenge, to do something different.
Yeah.
Um, but then I just was like thinking, it'd be kind of good to do, to get that background of the medical because it kind of intrigued me um, to do it. So then I posted my stuff online to work at, just seeing what would happen. And then I got a contact from a chiropractor locally by me, and he goes, your background's really interesting, and I really like that you've been doing massage for so many years. And he's like, I really think you'd be good to partner with me. I was like, okay. And so I was like, why not? And then so I worked there for like a good 2 years, and then there was this rumors that he decided that he's gonna kind of go off on his own.
Mhm.
And then we were switching on to a different chiropractor as he was selling it and stuff. And then
Right.
the other chiropractor was like totally different than he was, and he was not as nice and
Hmm.
as good.
That
So
stinks.
and it's well, in that whole transition period, I realized, I could do this on my own, um, and do insurance billing and all that other stuff because I pretty much learned a lot of it on my own anyway. So I was just like, okay. And then I just heard that insurance companies wouldn't work with you if you did it from your home. And that's where I kind of started doing it from my home. And I was like,
So I'm sorry to cut you off. So you said that insurance companies do work with massage therapists when they have a home setup, or no?
they told me, I was told that they didn't.
They did
And then,
not. Okay.
yes, I was told that they did not. And then when I talked to a friend of mine, she actually had been doing massage for like 25 years, and she was doing it on her own, but she was working in an office.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of talked to her, and she goes, "Well, there should be no reason why." And then I met another lady that actually was doing it from her home,
Mm-hmm.
and she was billing insurance, but she had somebody else billing for her. And I was like, okay, so now I know it's possible.
Sure.
So then I just started to, you know, go through slowly through the insurance companies and just, start bugging them basically and be like, at that point I was only doing massage part-time here, still working at the chiropractor. So I
Right.
still was doing it a little bit, but if it wasn't for a couple people willing to kind of help me out
Yeah.
and be like a guinea pig, basically, and be like, okay, let's try it out, let's
Yeah.
see what happens. And so I just started. I had two clients, husband, wife, and they're
Right.
still actually with me after
Yay.
almost 2 years. Yeah, so they were like, yeah, let's do it. And luckily they live like right down
I
the
love it
road.
when clients are like that. They're like, absolutely, we're gonna support
Yeah.
you in your new venture. Let's see how it goes. That's so nice.
And they were like totally even more on board since I was like not even 10 minutes from them. So they were
Yeah.
like, you're close by and really, really want to help you. I'm like, awesome. So like they were basically my first real insurance people I had here. And so I was like, because I applied for Aetna was basically my first one that I applied with.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit getting going, but there was no they did not deny me. They were just like, just send your stuff over. I sent my stuff over. And
Now, when you say stuff, can you like be specific? What does stuff mean?
so I sent over, like, basically you have to go on a program,
Okay.
which I found out later because I didn't know that. But you can go on a program and you sign up, or you put your it's like a billing program basically. They
Mhm.
have two different ones that you can kind of go
Okay.
through, but I do two different ones. The one I do is called Office Ally, and it doesn't cost anything. They charge like a certain amount per client that you see. Basically, it's like $1 or something. It's not that much,
Now, is
but
this through Aetna, this Office
yeah,
Ally, or is this just
yeah,
something separate?
it's something that is separate, but they can go through different companies. So they've got like
Okay.
Aetna and um, I don't know what else. I just usually use it for Aetna
Mhm.
only, but I'm sure you can do it through like Primera and the other ones. But I know Regents and some of the bigger ones use it's called Availability. It's a
Okay.
website and they're free too. Like I haven't had to pay anything through them. It's been strictly like no cost at all.
So okay, let me just back up because this is like really interesting, right? Okay, so Office Ally is a program, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
going back to the initial question, like, okay, so you're on the phone with them and they're like, send over your stuff,
Yeah.
right? And then you mentioned like Office Ally, which is a program. How does that classify under stuff that Aetna was asking for?
Okay, so they basically will just ask for your MPI number, a tax ID number. So, like for me, I use my social security number because I'm a solo practitioner. So I
Mhm.
sent that in with my billing and stuff like that, and then I just kind of go through every client and just kind of send it to them that way. But basically, to get started, it was a little bit different of a thing because basically you had to go on their website and apply. So you put all your MPI, you put your MPI, yeah, sorry, your MPI number, which is basically a number that they give doctors, nurses, massage
What does that
therapists.
stand for, by the way? Like, I've heard of
It's a
an MPI.
national practitioner something. I can't remember what the I
Maybe it's
is.
identification. I'm sorry, guys. Like, we're
So
just asking questions here. I'm
I
talking to
can't
the
remember.
viewers. Okay, so it's NPI, not
Yes,
NPI. So
the national number.
national.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a national number basically that you can use across the country. It's like an
Yes.
ID number, maybe as a
Yes.
healthcare care provider. Would that be
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Right. And you got to go online to basically apply for it, which they did all that stuff for me at the chiropractor. They went ahead and applied all that stuff for me. So I didn't have to do any of that stuff. So I'm not
Nice.
really sure how it to get going on it. Unfortunately, I know the website where you go,
Okay.
uh, but that's about it. Like as far as getting it going, I know it's a process. It takes like 90 days
Okay.
to
That's good to know.
get
So
it.
like you wanted to like start working with insurance right away. Like there, you can't. Like you have to get this number. It takes 90
Yes,
days. So plan in advance, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was working at the chiropractor for a while because it does take some time to transition and get those clients, kind of cash clients built up in between so that you're not stressing as much. Because for me, I have a nice little balance. You
Yeah.
know, I'm strictly mostly cash, but I do take some insurance. So it's kind of like a more cash than insurance, but eventually it kind of fluctuates, like because it'll be like sometimes it'll be more cash and then sometimes it'll be more insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask you about the percentage of your business cash versus insurance. I know it fluctuates, but just like a general idea, like maybe like 75% cash, 25%
Yeah, it's about that.
insurance. Is
Yeah.
that a fair? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. And is like, what is the reason it's not more than 25? Is it because of something specific?
I just I just don't really have a whole lot of insurance companies set up yet.
Hmm.
And it's a slow building thing. And some of the people that do the insurance stuff, they tend not to want to do the work that's involved because
Oh no.
you'll have to, yeah, you have to go through and get a referral from a doctor or a chiropractor, and it's not really that involved, but people just don't want to either go to the doctor or the chiropractor and do that part.
Yeah.
And you need that because you need the billing. They give you like a code that you
Mhm.
have to put on there for the insurance in order
Okay.
to bill it.
Okay. So you're there and they're like, hey, give us again, back to the conversation on the phone, right? And they're like, all right, send us your stuff. So they're asking for your social security number if you're a sole practitioner, or if you have a tax ID, your tax ID number, which for those of you that don't know is your EIN number, which you should get if you're setting up something beyond sole proprietor status. With the IRS in the United States. What else are they asking for? Your NPI
Yes.
number and tax ID or your social. Anything else?
They'll sometimes ask for your address as well where you're practicing at.
Okay. And
Yeah.
even if it's in your home, because I know we have some massage therapists that are a lot of massage therapists like close down their office spaces, a lot of them, and like transition to their home.
Hmm.
So this is really helpful because there could be a lot of misinformation out there. So it was really great that you had other colleagues that were able to guide you and like you kept searching and you kept asking.
Yes.
Sometimes we hear something or like, oh, okay, like that's like set in stone. And there are guidelines and limitations for certain things for our safety, but it was good. It was good that you were just like, okay, wait a second. Let me continue asking.
Yeah, I'm kind of stubborn. I don't give up.
Good for you.
I just kept
Well,
bugging. I like to bug insurance companies
oh
and be
my
like,
gosh. Okay, so all right, that's great. All right, so once you submit, okay, so you apply online, once you submit your NPI number and all that stuff, what else? Do you need anything else other than the address?
um, I haven't really been asked anything. Sometimes they'll just be like, sometimes they might ask me some other stuff, but usually no, it's just basically making sure that you're current on everything. So sometimes they might ask you for your um like your license number too, but I haven't been asked that because basically I went through Healthport. It's one
Okay,
Healthport. It's a website,
okay.
and like I said, I didn't have to do that because the chiropractor already enrolled me in all that stuff. So basically, I just had to get the password, the access to everything. But
Right.
uh, basically, you submit that. It's like basically a big packet of your information, where you work, address, and all your, like, I'll ask you references. So all that stuff's kind of put into a package, and
Mhm.
then you do it all online with your MPI stuff and all the other stuff. And you just kind of does like a massive send out. You can actually check all the insurance companies that it should be going to, and if there's certain ones you don't want it to go to, then you don't have to check it. But I just usually, when I first did it, I just checked them all because I didn't know which one I was going to go to, which one's going to say yes, which one's going to say no. But you
Okay.
can definitely do it that way, and you can do it annually. So every year you can kind of update it if anything's changed. If not, then you can go, okay, everything's good. And it's the same thing with availability. You do the same thing with them. You'll send them a packet out, and it'll just basically ask you all the information about your business, about your MPI. Basically, it's just like, basically it's a way for you to introduce yourself
Okay.
and be like, this is me, and then basically a brag session. So if you want to brag about, hey, I do this, I do that. So it's kind of fun to do that too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think would also um, just be really helpful. Well, I don't know. I'm sure health insurance companies don't check social media, but maybe they would. But obviously, they want to check for maybe, some type of assurance or proof that you're,
Yeah.
actually working at the place. And availability, and I think you said another company called Regents. What are those? Are those health insurance companies? Are they billing
Yeah.
service
So
providers?
availability is the website like One Health Port, where you just go on
Okay.
and you put your information on there for the insurance companies, and it's another billing thing like Office LI. It's just a little bit different because you can um it's usually what I use, like when I do to bill for VA, and and I do some, even though I'm not like in network with Regents, I still have like one client right now
Okay.
that I still bill to it because
Mhm.
you just never know. But
Right.
they go through there. Um and let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't use a lot of them on there, but I'm slowly trying to build. I did get first choice actually a month ago, and they're really hard to get into for some reason. I don't know. But my chiropractor tried to get me in, and he said he couldn't. And so I just told him, hey, I'm in a really small town, and there's no massage therapist that bill insurance. And so basically I just kind of pleaded my case with them, and they're like, well, we'll make an exception for you. So it was awesome. Like, I wasn't expecting that to
Yeah.
happen. So
Well,
yeah,
that is
I
great.
build them through. Yeah, so I'm hoping the same for Regents. Like, I've been bugging them. They're insurance company, and they're really hard to get into also, and they've been closed network for very.
Yeah. All right. So, um, all that is really great information. So, Aetna, any other companies that you've worked with?
Yeah, I work with Aetna and VA a lot, and like I said, I just got first choice.
Hmm.
So that's a fairly new one, and I actually got a client, and he found me on the insurance page because his chiropractor didn't take insurance, I guess, for
Hmm.
massage, or as a massage therapist or something, which I was kind of like, that's unheard of. I'm like, that was one of the things I had to do, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. But so he found me through their web page, I guess, because they list you on the directory, which is really nice. But
Yeah.
a lot of times people don't really know that, so they just will either search online or hear from you from other people. But
Right.
the VA is really awesome because they send you referrals every few months that they'll call you and say, hey, we have this client. But yeah, that's basically my favorite is VA so far, which
Okay.
is it's more of a Washington state thing. I don't know if that's like a around everywhere type of thing, but I know that Washington, they just recently started letting the VA people get massages again, which is great, but
Sorry?
it's veterans getting massaged.
Yes. So it's military veterans. And at least, you know, in your local city or in your local town, you can inquire about this. But
Yeah.
with Shanda, she's, you know, saying that she's had a really good experience with it. So that's like one option. Okay, pros and cons. Talk to us about the pros of doing billing and the cons.
Like I said, the pros are that you do get people pretty regularly, and you kind of, for me, I just tend to fill them as I go with my cash people, so I don't feel like I didn't get anything for the day type of thing. So I kind of fill them in as I go. They're pretty most the insurance people are pretty awesome. They're they're really happy and even though most people are happy to get a massage, but they're really excited because they get, usually they'll get a discount or they'll get it for free and then they're willing to, you know, be happier that way, and with the way the things are going right now, it's just nice to have as a backup, I feel like, because you
Yeah.
just never know how things are going to go and how long cash people are going to be along for. So for me, I like it. Um, and I'd say cons are that there's probably a little bit more cons than pros. The cons would just be like you have to wait to get paid. It's not obviously an instantaneous thing like cash is. I actually just signed up for direct deposit, so they basically will just send the money to you, which is really awesome, and you do get it a little bit quicker that way. But I didn't find out about that until later. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously cash is always the best because you get the instant payment,
Yeah.
but you have to wait, a little ways. So if you're willing to wait, a couple weeks for your payment, then I feel like it's good, and like I said, you've got uh then you got to deal with insurance companies, which is kind of can be stressful.
Why
And
is that stressful? Can you break it down for?
well, it can be stressful. It's not, it's just because it's hard to have that communication sometimes, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, yeah, we'll pay, 100%. And then all of a sudden, oh, no, here's $30. That's it, So a lot of times it's just a communication thing more on their part than yours.
Right.
So they don't pay, they're going to pay you, $80 an hour. They're going to probably pay you about $65 an hour, which a lot of people are like, yuck, disgusting, and they get turned off by that.
Hmm.
For me, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm taking a little bit of a pay cut, but if they're coming in once a week, then that's awesome, and I don't know, I just look at things differently than other people do, so I guess it's just your perspective on things.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
definitely about perspective. And like, that's why I want to talk about the pros and the cons, because not everybody is in the same position financially.
Right.
Not everybody. So, you know, this is something that you have to look at and be like, okay, can I wait? You know, do I have the time? How long are you on the phone with these insurance companies, like give or take?
Probably sometimes a couple hours, unfortunately, especially with the veteran people. It can take a couple hours, and you
Okay.
like gotta have patience. Unfortunately, a lot of the times, I have Tuesdays and Saturdays off. So a lot of the times I have to spend my Tuesdays billing and calling insurance companies. But, a couple hours isn't really that bad. And,
And
you
when you
know,
say a couple hours, do you literally mean like 2 hours, or what's a
two
couple
or three
hours?
hours just really depends. Like,
3 hours?
honestly, yeah, probably at the most, I think. But
Okay.
just depends on how fast you are or they are. And I've learned to be really fast when it comes to at least doing the billing part. I can do it in an hour.
Yeah.
But when you have to talk to insurance companies, a lot of times you're put on hold and you have to wait and you have to wait. And a lot of times they don't have any answers. So then you got to call back and talk to somebody else. It can be a little bit of a
Oh,
runaround.
Shanda. Yeah. So, okay, any other cons? Any other, because like I said in the beginning of this interview, I want to demystify insurance billing. Any other cons that you can think of?
Um,
I know it's about perspective, but anything that you've experienced personally, which you're just like, ugh, like you really need to know this before you decide to like, get on board with this.
I guess the another thing would just be basically, like I said, not getting the yes, will credential you. That could be a little bit frustrating too, because like I said, a lot of people won't work on you just based on location. I'm lucky that I live in an area where there's literally nobody doing massage
Right.
or insurance billing. So, if you live in a city where there's a ton of massage therapists and you're kind of like going against somebody else, it can be a little bit harder to get in the door.
Hmm. Yeah. Shanda, have you taken car insurance, auto insurance from
Yes.
accidents? How has
Yeah.
that been for you? Let's talk about that.
Um, Auto insurance is not too bad. I've only had two people actually, which is kind of funny because Washington State's like the worst when it comes to car insurance. But
You haven't
again,
been to Miami.
yeah, I know it's pretty bad, I'm
Oh my
sure.
goodness.
But with insurance, with the PIP um stuff, it can be, it was actually okay experience for me. It's just the getting going can kind of be a little bit difficult because you got to make sure that they're going to pay you like per massage and not have to wait, because sometimes they'll be like, can they wait? And then a lot of times, because actually I had that happen to me just a little bit ago. The lady asked, because she's been dealing with her lawyer, she doesn't have any PIP at all.
Hmm.
So she said that one of the questions was that he asked was, am I willing to wait for the payment? Unfortunately, I'm not, because I need that guaranteed payment since it's not PIP and I don't know if I'm going to get paid or not.
Okay.
It would be a different situation if I knew I was going to get paid, but since there's no PIP involved and she's just going through her lawyers, it's a little bit of a different story. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Which one do you like better? Health insurance or auto insurance?
I really I like health insurance pretty good. I like it a lot.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Um, Anything else that you can think of for someone who's starting out for the very first time? And I mean, you've made a lot of really good points, and I'm going to go over it for everyone so they can say, oh, yeah, this is kind of doable, or nope, this does not work for me at all. Anything else that comes to mind?
I would just say pack your patience, For me, it was just like I had quite a bit of patience. There was definitely frustration along the way, but
Hmm.
I talked to a couple of massage therapists that have been billing, so that kind of helped me going. It was kind of like a back and forth between a friend of mine that lives pretty close by. But, I just said, hey, I'm getting into medical insurance. Can you help me kind of get going? And she introduced Office Ally to me
Mhm.
and showed me how to do the whole process, because it is a process.
Mm.
And if you don't know how to do it, it is hard, but for me, I kind of had a little bit of practice doing,
Yeah.
the insurance billing. So that was kind of the nice part. But somebody who's brand new at it, doesn't have a clue how to do it, I would definitely suggest, having somebody show you or walk you through it, because it will definitely help you out a lot if you decide to go down that road.
Yeah.
Um, and I definitely can offer my help to other massage therapists if they want to reach out to me
Yeah.
and they're interested. I can definitely help them out, and for a fee, and sit down with them, because I love to do that stuff and it's
Yes.
fun for me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beautiful thing about like our craft. I find that massage therapists, it's wonderful to do hands-on body work. And I also want to talk about another fear that massage therapists have with being inundated with with patients or new clientele. And I also want to ask you about booking. Like, how do people book Do you accept deposits? And how does that work? So let's start with the first fear that a lot of massage therapists have. They're like, oh, once I open those floodgates, I'm just going to get inundated and I'm going to be like working like an animal. I'm going to be in so much pain and I'm not going to have room for cash patients, which are like my, the ones that are paying me the most. Like, what would you say to that?
I would just say that, let's see, I would think that if you kind of stagger it, because like for me, I still have some flexibility in my schedule. So for the most part, for me, I just kind of go, okay, um, I kind of try to do it pre-plan ahead of time, because if I know that they want like once a week, then I can be like, we're just gonna put you in there once a week on, and if anything changes, let me know, basically. But I basically book them like a normal massage, like I'll say, you know, if there is their first time coming in with, they say they got insurance, I'll say, okay, um, I'll tell them to bring their, insurance card. And if they don't have their, like if they don't have a referral yet, then I'll just be like, okay, we'll make sure to get that because I'll need that. But a lot of times I try to get them to do that first. I
Okay.
don't require a deposit for cash or insurance, but I do tell them that I have a cancellation policy. So either way, they're gonna get charged if they don't show up. But I've been really lucky. Like I've only actually had 2 people that have canceled or not showed up. So I've been really lucky so far. But knock on wood. But I do have a booking website that I
Mhm.
give mostly to the cash people, because with insurance it's a little hard unless they just go online and they book as a cash person, say, hey, I have insurance, then that's fine too. And a lot of times it just say, okay, that's good. And I have had that too, where they'll just go ahead and book as a cash person and say, I've got insurance and can you look in it? And that happens too. So that's fine. And I just kind of roll with the roll with the flow a lot of times.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just curious about that because, for most people, massage therapists and other personal services, even though we are healthcare providers, sometimes we are like seen by the public, the general public, like either as just professional services and personal services, which is true. However, to mitigate the inconsistency and to mitigate no-shows and last minute cancellations, which sometimes clients tend to do and has been a huge issue within our industry, and just kind of helping the public understand that this is not okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how it works with booking and booking and health insurance. So you use a software, you're using MassageBook right now. So if somebody were to look you up, they would just book. There's no deposit charged. Is that right? They come in, they see
Um,
you, they do the massage, and they either maybe pay a copay or something like that, and then you bill the insurance company. Is that, am I following the trajectory correctly?
I actually will, with all new clients, they have to prepay ahead of time. But
Okay.
if they call and make an appointment, or if they send me a message and make an appointment, then I just kind of do it, like I said, on my own, basically, because a lot of people
Manually. Right.
don't have a
Okay.
car. But
Okay.
I do get people that prepay, yes.
Okay. All right, Shanda. Well, I think we have a lot of information. So I'm going to run through it and let me know if I missed anything. But I just really want to appreciate your time. And then towards the end, which is coming up soon, um, yes, I want you to share your information for massage therapists out there that are interested in having someone hold their hand while they explore this new possibility of being compensated um, using health insurance. So, if I understand it, this is a process. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a
Yeah.
process. So, you have to like go into it understanding that. It helps if you're a planner, right? What do you think, Shanda?
hmm Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Um,
I'm very organized.
yeah. So if your characteristic, if your personality tends to lean towards being a planner, if you're very patient, if you are willing to be on hold, which nobody loves, but you get yourself a headset and you wash your dishes. I don't know. So, but if these are the characteristics that you naturally have, maybe insurance billing might be for you. Um, Asking your community, so whoever is around you directly, in this case, we're going to utilize Shanda because she's been so gracious with us and her time. So, community among massage therapists that have experience and success in insurance billing is key. And then ask clients that are willing to be a guinea pig and just say, hey, I'm branching into insurance billing. Before you go out and put it on your website or start like blasting it on social media, your newsletter or anything like that, maybe you might want to start off slow, maybe with a couple of clients and just kind of see if you like it.
Definitely.
And then you also mentioned a couple of programs that are free, which is Office Ally. Is that right?
Office like does cost, just really depends on how many clients you have.
Okay.
Like right now, I only use it for 3 people, so I don't get charged.
Okay.
But if it was like 5 or 10 people or something like that, then you might get more. You might have to charge. I think they charge per like, because basically you send them like a piece of paper and then they mail it out and all. So that obviously costs money. So it's like 50 cents or something. So it's not really expensive.
Okay. We're not talking about like thousands of dollars here.
No,
Right.
I've
Okay.
I've only spent like about $3 or $4 at the most.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's
Okay.
nothing.
So Regents is another health insurance company that you've been working with?
Yeah,
Yes.
trying to
Okay.
get into, yes.
And by the way, everyone, I just want to be very, very clear. I'm in Florida. Shanda is in Washington State. So we're by no means giving you a blueprint, surefire. You have to do the legwork and you have to see what your state specifically requires. But just
Mhm.
throwing it out there. Okay, NPI number is a national identification number that you have to apply for. So I'm sure you can do a Google search, NPI number, how to apply, and that should be a pretty easy process. Um, or if you work with a chiropractor, another healthcare provider that wants to do that for you, that may be another way of just kind of doing that. Your
Mhm.
tax ID number or no, or your social security number is something that you have to submit. You do have to wait like 90 days. So you're not going to jump into health insurance billing like right away. So give yourself a little bit of, time. So if you're like eager to start, like, just don't give yourself like a few months.
Mhm.
Know that at least with Shanda, right now it's about 75% cash and 25% health insurance billing. So if those odds appeal to you, I'm not saying that that's what's going to be for you, but it might be. So, and it's going to fluctuate back and forth. You got to get a referral from the doctor, which can be a pain in the rear end for most patients. So be prepared for that obstacle. But I'm sure that there's different ways of like making that process a little bit easier, but a referral is necessary, right, Shanda? Did I get that right?
Yeah, you definitely need the codes. A lot of time, if I know that what their specific pain is, then I kind of go off of other people's codes and I just kind of bill it as what they tell me. And then the insurance companies will still take it as long as there's numbers, but you don't want to bill for like, let's say foot pain and then they're coming in for shoulder pain and they're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of times they might call into the doctor and say, we just want to verify that, they need massage, but I don't know if they do. Like a lot of times, like I said, I've had the same people for a while, like over 2 years for insurance, and they always said that a referral isn't really necessary.
Mm.
So that's kind of the nice thing. Once you get the one referral, you're good. So, as long as the insurance company says they get 40 a year or whatever,
Oh,
and as
perfect.
long as they're still paying, then you're good to go. I mean, for me, once we got in, we're good. So that's the
Okay.
nice part.
That is very, very
Yeah.
encouraging. That is very encouraging. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it. Okay, moving on. You may need to send your street address. So even if you have a home office, don't get discouraged. Just you may need to send your address. Um, Health Port, I think you said, was a
Health
website.
port.
I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry,
one health port.
One Health Port,
Yes.
like ONE
Yes.
Health Port,
Health port. Yeah.
PORT.
Yep.
Okay, is that .com?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, can't be that hard to look up. But yeah.
It'll come up.
All right. Oh, the other thing you mentioned is that you will have to send your license. So a current license. So if your license is expired, make sure that you send a current license. Availability is another company that you mentioned.
Yes.
And don't get discouraged. It seems like there's a lot of back and forth on this. So again, characteristics, like look deep inside yourself and say, am I willing to do this? Am I willing to do this? Do I have this type of personality? If you do, it can be something that you enjoy, like Shanda. So don't think negatively and don't think this is not for me. If you are, I think Shanda, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like if you're persistent, that is a good quality to have when you're working with billing. Would you
Yes.
agree?
Definitely, because especially with the VA, it's like you gotta be on top of it. Otherwise, you're in trouble. And if you don't get the name of the person and the date of birth and stuff, you're kind of in trouble too. And I learned that a few times because a lot of times we'll be like, "Oh, I'll fax it over," and then I'll be like, "Where is it?" And so days later, it still hasn't showed up, and I'm like, "This person's coming in this day, and I don't have the referral yet." So luckily, they do eventually send it. Just takes time. I don't know. That's what they
Yeah.
say to me all the time. But, it's just like sometimes it stresses me out, like if I don't get that referral before the client comes. But now I've learned as long as, for the most part, they say it's coming, you just got to have faith it's coming.
Oh my goodness. Just fingers crossed. Do you
Unless
own a fax machine?
I don't, but I pay for it's online actually. It's called efax.com.
Oh,
And and we just send it to you on your email, and then you can print it out, and it makes it so easy. And I think it's only a couple dollars. I think it's like $5 or $6 a month or something. It's really cheap. And you just basically get a fax number. You get to pick what kind of fax number you want. I wrote mine down so I don't forget, but it's a local number. They give you a local number, and then you just
cool.
give that to them, and they the only people that really fax you stuff is usually the VA.
Okay.
I haven't had anybody else ask for my fax number yet, but I have it just in case because you never
Just in
know. I
case.
mean, a
Yeah.
doctor might want to send you a referral through
Yes.
fax, or a lot of time at first all I had was my email, and so they're like, "Well, we need a fax number." I'm like, because of security, because I don't know. They say it because of security. I don't know, but
It's
I was
not
like, okay.
security. It's not. I marvel at how antiquated, and listen to me, if you're a doctor, if you are a clinician, if you are like, all due respect, but the system is so antiquated. It is, I just don't, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Who uses a fax machine anymore? Like, I just don't get it. But this efax.com is a very good source. So thank you for that information.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so moving on, the pros are that you get a regular clientele. So if you're freaking out about, oh my gosh, I'm not a salesperson. Oh my gosh, I don't want to go to networking events. Like, that's not who I am. And you're willing to take a pay cut in exchange for regular clientele, this may be a good pro for you. And then you have grateful clients, which is kind of interesting because for some reason I always assumed that insurance clientele would be very entitled and they wouldn't appreciate the service. But you're saying no, you've had quite the opposite experience. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been really good for me. Like, I've been really lucky, actually, overall with everybody that I've had has been really awesome. But um, especially the VA people, they really appreciate it. They're like probably the best clients I've
Yay.
had,
That's
bar
good.
none. I've
That's
only
great.
got like five of them right now, but whenever the VA sends a thing, it just takes a couple of months for them to process. So it does take time to get that referral, but I feel like it does pay off because they're really nice, laid back people. They've been through a lot with military. They've been, a lot of them have injuries that they're still dealing with, and
Yeah,
they just want somebody to be there to listen to them. And I've heard so many stories from them,
I'm
and they're
sure.
really awesome. They're really awesome people, and I'm so glad I did it.
And I'm so glad that you said that because I'm telling you, I had this stigma in my mind, and I'm so like you've helped me to open my mind to that. So thank you. All right,
Mhm.
cons. You have to wait to get paid. Sorry, no immediate payment here. So if you are the type of person that you either have supplementary income or you're in a two income household or you have different revenues of income and you can wait, this may be something that you might want to explore because the pressure is not going to be the same. But for those, I mean, it's always nice to get paid right away, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
just something that you want to think about. There is something called direct deposit that you want to sign up for if possible, and it helps you get paid a little bit faster. 2 weeks maybe is about the turnaround time for payment.
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer when you're first doing it, when you first start. It
Okay.
takes about 90 days.
Okay.
If you especially if you get like a new person come in and
Hmm.
you've been doing it for a while, it even still takes time because they've got to be like, "Oh, we got, this going on." And so when you're first doing it with a new person, it does take a little bit longer, but like I said, as long as you know that eventually it'll come, you're good. But
Yeah.
you know, I say like, um, I'd say like, don't wait any longer than 90 days. If you haven't gotten a payment, definitely be calling them and be like, okay, I've seen this person like 5 times, and
Oh my
it's been
gosh. You're
they're
like, where's my
you know
money?
like where's it? So, yeah, I've been down that road, so I can tell you it is frustrating when you haven't had a payment in like 3+ months, and it's like, okay, where is it?
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah.
and so wrapping up, just the last few tidbits of really awesome information that you've provided us, and thank you once again, is you have to be willing to deal with health insurance companies or insurance companies in general, which means, some back and forth. So you got to have some patience. Pay cut may or may not look like about $65 an hour, but they will pay for an hour session, it sounds like. But again, you got to check.
Yep.
Um, it's ideal. Am I missing something, Shanda? I thought I heard you.
Oh, I was just gonna say if they have a copay, then they'll just pay basically what's left of that. So like if they have like a $25 copay, I still bill my normal amount. So I'll still bill the 75 that I would if they were cash.
Uh-huh.
So that way I try to get back as much as I can,
Right.
unless I know that they 100% pay for it, because I know that they'll only pay like 60 or 65. But if
Okay.
they have that co-payment, I try to bill a little bit more to see, hey, see what they can pay. And maybe they'll only pay you like $40 or whatever, but
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, it's worth a shot. That's
Yeah, yeah,
my thought anyway.
absolutely. The other tip that you gave is give yourself at least 3 hours. What would you say? 3 hours a week for
Yeah.
admin time? Is that
Yep.
fair?
Yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
so the longest, so you can do it anywhere from if you get really fast, like turbo speed, like Shanda. She does it in an hour at this point because she's had plenty of practice, but especially in the beginning, give yourself at least 3 hours of admin time a week to dedicate towards this. Um, be prepared to be on hold. Don't get angry, just make adjustments. Have a lot of patience and make sure that you have low competition. So if you're in a niche massage kind of, service, or you offer something that's really hyper niche or just niche enough for you to have a lower sense of competition, that probably helps your odds a little bit better. All right. And Shanda, thank you so much for your time. tell us where we can find you. We're a massage therapist, or anyone, maybe other healthcare providers. Let them know where they can contact you, please.
Yes, definitely. My name is Shanda Whitney. Like I said, I'm definitely on Facebook. And I am on Massage Book as well. So Massage Book, Shanda Whitney, LMP. Um, and then I also can give you guys my phone number if you feel free. You can
Go
text
ahead.
or call
Yeah.
253-225-9163. And you can text me, you can call me, I'll answer. It might not be right away, but I stay pretty busy. I've got kids and I'm working full time here at my house, but I also can send texts pretty quick, in between clients, be like, give me a couple minutes, or whatever, like I've done with you. But yeah, it's like we're all busy, but I can definitely spend a couple times with somebody, or a couple minutes with somebody and just, do what I can to help them out.
Yes. And so you can find Shanda. She has a massage book listing, and it's under, I believe is it under healing? Something?
Healing Touch and Aromatherapy is the name of my business.
Okay. Healing
Yeah.
Touch and Aromatherapy,
Hmm.
Shanda Whitney. Um, and she is located in Roy, right? Did I
Yes.
get that
Right.
correct?
Yep.
Roy, ROY, Washington. So you can Google that, or you can
Mhm.
search right on Massage Book at the time of this recording. And then, Shanda, could you repeat your phone number one more time, nice and slow for everybody to
Sure.
hear?
253-225-9163.
Okay, Shanda, thank you for
Yes.
demystifying insurance billing. And I really appreciate your time. All right, everybody, this is Michelle with Lumina Massage. I hope that you got lots of nuggets of wisdom, information, encouragement, inspiration on today's show. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.